What is mindfulness? Mindfulness is slowing down to witness the present moment. So, for example, being outside and taking in the colors of your surroundings, of the sky, of the trees, um, taking in the sounds of the birds chirping, smelling the scents in the air, whether it's flowers, fresh dirt after a rain, or just grounding into your breath, because that is the essence of the present moment is breath, right? We breathe into and with each passing moment. Why am I here and why am I feeling called to talk about this? My name is Megan Tyler, and I have landed in life teaching yoga and feeling called to share mindfulness in all of its aspects. I'm an artist. I find myself in a lot of teaching positions, whether it is yoga, art, or just kind of coaching and talking on life and this human experience and understanding what it's like to be the spiritual being living a human experience and navigating that. And it's been over 10 years in the making, and it there's still a lot more to go. But what really brought me to this point is mindfulness. Mindfulness changed my life. I was living way too much in the future before I stumbled upon mindfulness, and mindfulness really started for me in within my yoga journey. Is really what kick started me into slowing down and witnessing this present moment and starting to gain these tools to be able to do that. Before, I was just living too much in the future. I was just kind of programmed to check off that next box, whether that is achieve in school so that I can have a really good built up resume, which that was me. I was an overachiever. I was just kind of programmed to no fault of my parents' own, but just really to achieve. And that was a little bit of, having a critical parent, but that is its own deep dive in itself and um, another chunk of my story. But it was really this sense of I was just always what's next. Like I remember being in middle school and thinking, oh, what I can't wait to be in high school. I remember being in high school and being, oh, I can't wait to be in college. And when I got to college, it was like, I can't wait to see what's next. And I found yoga at the end of my college years. And so, really looking back on this, I was so dissociated from the present moment. And that didn't allow me to really experience the present moment. And so when I look back on it, I have very vague memories. It's just kind of this foggy life where I know the overall gist of how it all happened, but the details aren't really there. And I just always remember like my head and my mind and my thoughts were always in the future. They were always thinking about what's coming next. And then with that, I was setting expectations for whatever's coming next. So I was thinking, oh, I can't wait to get to high school. And I was building up all these expectations of what high school would be like or what college would be like. And I was attaching myself to outcomes. And then that reality would roll through and I would get to high school, I would get to college. And I was really disappointed because it wasn't playing out to be this romanticized version of it that I had built up in my mind and attached myself to. And so I was really unhappy in it. And it wasn't until I found yoga that I was really able to start become self-aware of that, because it was just that. Like before I had found mindfulness and really ways to practice it, I didn't have the tools to recognize what was going on. And therefore I was suffering. And art has always been a form of meditation for me. And I've been an artist, long before I found mindfulness and really understood it. And so I had a core sense that was always my place where I did find that grounding, but I didn't understand what that was. And so throughout all of this suffering, I was always finding my grounding throughout art. So throughout college, I was always finding that grounding and that kind of connection back to myself through my art classes, and that's kind of feel like how I survived through that. But it was really that I didn't understand how to how to recognize that these things were happening, that I was suffering, right? There's a certain self-awareness that you need to cultivate, um, to even become aware that you're suffering and that you may not be happy. And sometimes the universe has to have, um, it mirrored back at you, or something to happen for you to realize that. And I remember specifically that one drunk night in my sorority, in college. And that again is a whole depth of my story and my journey and healing and things. But this was kind of a pivotal night for me. I just remember the next day, basically, one of my friends telling me that like I had told them how unhappy I was, and I don't remember this. And I guess it just was this big wake up call of like, wow, okay, like I I'm unhappy, like. And so I guess I just have always been so used to putting on this face of like I'm good, and I am like naturally just kind of an optimist. And so I think if you're just naturally an optimist, you become very natural at being able to put on that face that like, yeah, everything is okay. And it is important to have that self-awareness to recognize like if you are truly happy and if you are truly in line with yourself and your purpose and your reason for living. And we all know that at a deep core it's a feeling, and we spend a lot of our life searching for that feeling of just that alignment in what we are doing in our lives, and that's when everything kind of falls in place, within your relationships, within your external circumstances and jobs, and where you're living and the people you have in your life, and then also internally how you feel. And I'm still very far from that. It's not like that is an easy goal to reach, and there's a lot of work that goes into feeling that. But the more you start to pay attention to the work that goes into finding that feeling, um, the more you start to feel it, and the more it's attainable, and the more you want to keep working on it. And again, it just kind of grows and it becomes this thing that is, you can always become further in alignment, and you can always fall out of alignment, and we're human and we do so. And so, yeah, mindfulness has changed my life in the sense that it's given me the tools to become self-aware and to know that I have a choice, and to be able to change my beliefs, and to be able to start to see the reality that I want to create in front of me, and really all of these things that I'm going to be getting into deeper and deeper. And so that's why I'm here making this video. If any of this resonates with you, I want you to join me on this journey. I'm going to be diving into the journey I've had so far and just the things that I've learned around mindfulness, but I'm also going to be tapping into the things that I'm going to be learning along the way, still the things that I'm learning daily, because it's an ever-growing practice. So yeah, I'll be doing that here on YouTube, and I'll be sharing tidbits, on my Instagram and maybe through Facebook. I'm still kind of figuring out the channels and the ways to do this uh, properly, and I mean that where I can properly put my energy into it, and feel called to do it creatively and fun and imperfectly and consistently and in a committed way, because that's something that consistency and committed is something that I am working on in terms of putting my voice out there and sharing my story, because it is worth it, and there are people out there that probably can resonate with it, and I feel a call to be here doing this. So I'm here doing this. So please join me. I would love to connect with you and just start creating this community where we can have a support system and to learn and to grow together and to connect on this subject that is really needed and is becoming more and more intertwined with our daily lives, and more people are out there in search of it. So if that is you, please join me. Namaste, my friends.